What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Creative Smoothie. Listen, I've been having so much fun creating these last episodes for you guys. I mean, since the podcast has changed format and I'm finally starting to share more content on here and more micro episodes rather than long, hour-long interviews, I've been really getting inspired to share a bunch of things as far as marketing, business, and life goes, because I think that those are the same things that I'm questioning myself every day and that I'm hearing other people question. And so if I have a question or somebody else has a question from this industry, it means that a lot of other people might have the same questions, okay? And today I'm here to tell you something pretty straightforward, which is the 5 things that you should start with when you're beginning your marketing strategy, okay? But before I start telling you about these 5 things and how to start your marketing strategy, I'd like you to understand, and this is part of conscious marketing. This is an element of it. I'd like you to understand that the marketing doesn't start the moment you finish your product or your company. It starts with the building of the product, with the building of the company, with the building of your business. Okay, and you're gonna understand why in just a second. But I just want you to understand that marketing, especially conscious marketing, is not just promotion. It is actually built into the product, and it is a chance to connect with people. It is what makes people transform and change. So if we don't have that embedded from the very beginning, it is going to be very hard to add it after. It's kind of like a fake. It's kind of like painting a picture and then, explaining its meaning afterwards, So I want to kind of go over the basics of marketing strategy, as far very, very basic elements of what a marketing strategy should have. One day I'm going to make a special episode and we are going to build a marketing strategy together right here on Creative Smoothie. But for now, I wanted to make a video for those people that already want to start with their marketing. With these 5 things, you're already going to be ahead everybody else in your industry that does not carefully plan out and think about how they're going to market, build, and create their products, okay? So let's hop in. I don't want to take too much of your time today, and I have my famous sticky notes here written down. If I cannot write an idea down on one sticky note, then it means the episode's gonna go on for too long. So it is on sticky notes, not gonna be that long. All right, so these are the 5 elements that you have to start with whenever you're thinking about creating a business or a marketing strategy. Okay, it applies for both, in my opinion. Number 1, identify a problem in real life. Okay. So identify a problem that's happening in real life, a problem that somebody has or that a company has or that you have, okay? Identify a real problem. Many people start creating the product first and then they identify a problem that product solves or somebody that needs it. And that ends up in persuasion, convincing, negotiations, spam, blah, 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 blah. Salesman, car salesman tactics. So identify a problem that somebody has. Second of all, you got to ask yourself who has that problem, okay? Because you found out that there's a problem out there in the world. You have to understand who has that problem. And not just who is in there, a male 35 and they work in advertising, or male 35, they're a coach and they're struggling with this. You got to find out a lot about them. Like, what makes them want to get away from this pain that they have? Or what makes them want to get closer to pleasure, right? If they're trying to optimize themselves and challenge themselves. You have to understand the driving desires and fears behind this person. Why do they have that problem? Is that the problem that they have, or is that the problem that they think they have? Right? Because that's important as well. Many times people come to us with a problem and then the problem actually starts way back. Like way back. So you have to understand who has that problem in order to understand how you're going to talk to them. How do they talk to themselves in their mind? We have an internal conversation every day when you're about to go to lunch, and the day, for example, on Wednesdays, you go out for lunch. You know that your internal conversation before lunch on Wednesday is different than your internal conversation on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, when you bring your own lunch. And so the same thing goes for the people that we're helping. Their internal conversations and the words that they're using are very important so that we know how to talk to them. Right? It's not the same to say I have a pain in my elbow than to say I have tennis elbow. Those are 2 different people that you're talking to, okay? So you got to understand what kind of language they're using. All right, number 3. How will you solve the problem? What is the product that's going to solve the problem? Do you have the skills? Do you have what it takes in order to solve this problem? Or are you just trying to find a problem that you think you can solve? So how exactly are you going to solve them? You have to decide it. Write down This is the process. This is the product. We're going to do this, and that. That's why I'm telling you that this is important in business creating and in product creating too, because you cannot start deciding who your product is going to help and how after building it. You have to decide how you're going to help people before building your product, okay? So how will your product or service help the people that have the problem that we have defined in the previous questions? All right, number 4, where are they? Are they hanging out in real life and not on social media, or are they on the internet? If so, where do they spend most of their time? Where do they post? Where do they consume their information? What podcasts do they listen to? What YouTube channels are they subscribed to? The where online is where they consume, where they interact, and where they post, okay? So find out those 3 places, where they consume, where they interact with others, and where they post, so where they create. It's very important because that's the place where you're going to position your message. If your clientele or your possible clients are all hanging out on LinkedIn and you're doing only Instagram marketing, then you're not reaching your potential clients, okay? So this is very important. And number 5, why you? What makes you so unique? Why should somebody go for you and not the next person that has the same exact services? And the answer to this is creating a unique selling proposition or a value offer or whatever you want to call it. It's basically creating a statement that explains exactly what you do. And I like to use the formula, I help X achieve Y through Z. So I help X, a person X, achieve a result Y using the methodology Z, or using this special technique that nobody else knows, Z. Okay, so for example, I help coaches build and scale their businesses using conscious marketing and automation. Many people don't like selling themselves, and I know that, and you probably are listening to this because you don't like selling yourself, and you don't like using spammy, shady tactics. So I introduced this new concept of, I named it conscious marketing, but it's the concept of using marketing as a power of change and transformation, not as a power of spamming. So that's, for example, my unique selling proposition. What is yours? Okay, so let me just go over the 5 things that I just told you real quick again. We kind of did this brief. 1, the problem. You have to identify a real problem in life. Okay, a very good way to do that is to, for example, if you are in the coaching business and you want to figure out what problems coaches have, you can go to answerthepublic.com and you can type in coaching, and they will show you every single question that's been asked the most times on Google about coaching, and they also tell you what the most of the conversations around coaching are, right? They have really cool graphics and ways of showing you the information, and so you're gonna get really good information there, okay? Answerthepublic.com to find a real problem in any industry that you want. Number 2, who has this problem? Very important, define them. This is building your avatar, okay? And I have some tools for that. If you need them, let me know. Number 3, how will you solve that problem? This is where you create the product, the service, the system, the methodology. Number 4, where are they hanging out? Know where they are so you know where you're going to talk to them, where to position your messages, and where, if you're going to use advertising, where that's going to be the most relevant. And 5, and the last one, why you? Tell them your unique selling proposition. I help X achieve Y through Z, or even I help X achieve Y without Z, where Z is a pain point or something that they don't want to do, right? So book appointments with the doctor without waiting on the phone. For example, I book more appointments for your doctors without ever having to talk to anybody on the phone. I don't know, something like that, okay? So it's also interesting to add this at the end. Like, I help you do this without a common pain point that you thought you're gonna have to do to get the result that I promised you, okay? Start with those 5 things, write them down on a sheet of paper, and that's gonna, first of all, make you realize that you have so many, like, you can go in so many different particular ways, and you're gonna get hit by a problem, which is, which one do I choose? What offer do I choose? It all seems so particular that if saying yes to one offer or one thing you're gonna do is saying no to everything else, and you have to grow comfortable with doing that. If not, you're always gonna procrastinate and you're never gonna start working. If you have a defined offer, don't start questioning, don't start thinking, is this what I wanna do for the rest of my life? It's just your current offer, and this is the way you're serving people. So don't be scared about defining and narrowing down on a defined, clear offer, okay? Guys, thank you so much for joining me today on another Creative Smoothie. I'm so appreciative of your time. I think that the greatest asset and the greatest gift that we have is the gift and the asset of time. And that's why we have to be very expensive with our time, and we have to give it to the people that we love and the people that we share, because I believe that it's worth more than money, worth more than anything else, than any flashy gift. Giving your time is essentially the single most important thing that you can give somebody. And thank you for giving that time to me. And if you enjoyed this and you think somebody else would benefit from it, please share it with your friends, share it in a conversation on your feed, whatever it is, and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple. If you think that this was beneficial or if this was useful to you, please just drop a review, and I'll be really appreciative of it. I don't run ads. I'm not going to run ads. I'm not monetizing this. So thank you very much, guys. Have an incredible rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next Creative Smoothie episode. Peace.